This could be these Chiefs' last game in Arrowhead, and we're going to talk about it.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up.
How we doing, Chiefs Kingdom ACU crew? Welcome in, welcome in. Please do your boys a favor. Hit that like button. Help get this out to more people. Mike, let the people know who's powering this live stream.
This live stream is powered by BetUS. Check out BetUS.com today. Use YouTube 150. Use code YouTube 150. Get a 150% deposit match bonus on your first deposit, and on the next two, get 125% deposit match bonuses up to $2,000. The site's easy to use. Plenty of props on there. Go to BetUS.com. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you their way. Code YouTube 150. Steve, we're on here at a little slightly different time. Okay, we're not doing our usual morning. We're on the evening. The people said, hey, the evening crowd want to watch. We're going to test that theory tonight. We're testing the theory. Let's see if the evening crowd shows up and shows out, Steve. But it could be their last game at Arrowhead. We're talking about, of course, Travis Kelce. We're talking about Mecole Hardman. I'll bring this up. Just yesterday, Andy was asked about Mecole Hardman being activated from IR, Steve. His practice window is now running out. They've got to decide whether or not they're going to activate him or if they're not. And Andy didn't really sound super committal on that, by the way. He said, we'll see how that goes. I haven't made any decisions on that just yet, but he's worked hard trying to get himself back and get going. But we'll see how that works out. So, Steve, it doesn't sound like Andy is super committal on trying to get Hardman back. And even if they bring him back, where's he really fitting into this offense? All of our receivers are pretty healthy at the moment. And we'll talk about that in just a second, obviously. And the other big one was Patrick Mahomes was on 96.5 The Fan, and he made a reference to Kelce being his last game. And he was quoted as saying, if it is his last game, let's go get him a win. On his last game in Arrowhead, Steve, that kind of comes out of nowhere, doesn't it?
It does. I'm sure it was presented in a way where they were like, hey, if this is Kelce's last game in Arrowhead, if he doesn't play next year. So, I mean, it's not like he was alluding to the fact that Travis Kelce
he knows something we don't.
Was going to return. Exactly. It's not that. He was just answering the question like it was. And his answer was, well, if it is his last game, let's go get him a freaking win in Arrowhead, which is exactly what he should say. And then going back to Mecole Hardman, Mike, you asked the $1 million question. Like, even if he's ready to go, should they even use him? And let's be honest here. It doesn't look like they've needed him lately. I don't know where he would come in and contribute. Nico Remigio's been doing a damn good job at kick returning if he could hold on to the ball.
Right.
If he just holds on to the ball, he's been excellent. And then, of course, in the offense, the receivers have looked pretty good, and they don't even use them that much. Let's talk about last game where DeAndre Hopkins and Hollywood Brown had 0 targets. So why do you need to throw Mecole Hardman in? Like, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Well, I would say this. Mecole Hardman, if there's one team he plays really well against that's not the 49ers, it's the Buffalo Bills. He had 8 touches for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns versus the Bills in the 3 playoff games he's played versus them. So that's a lot. 8 touches, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's probably makes up a third of his career. He also had 15 touches for 139 yards and 1 touchdown across the 4 regular season meetings he's had since he's been here. And he's had 3 kick returns for 59 total yards against Buffalo. So he's accounted for somewhere around 350 yards and 3 touchdowns in 7 games versus the Bills, be it playoffs or not. So he does have experience versus Buffalo. I do think I trust him as more of a pass catcher at this point than, say, a Nico Remigio in the offense, even though I would have liked to have seen how that worked. I'm not going to wait till the playoffs to try it out. So, Juju, you never know what you're getting with Juju. He could be 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He could be 0 catches on 2 targets for nothing and have a hamstring injury. You never know what you're getting there. But it looks like Hollywood's back ready to play. DeAndre Hopkins, look, he basically got another bye week last week.
Right.
I feel like this is going to be a big-time DeAndre Hopkins game.
Could be.
I don't know if it's a big-time game, but I believe the Chiefs' offense is going to open up. I don't think the Chiefs' offense showed anything versus the Texans. It's almost like Andy said, we're going to play this the most vanilla we can. and they kind of did. It was basic and it was ugly at times. But I didn't feel like any sense of like Andy just digging into the playbook at all. Like he tried one stupid trick play in the red zone that we all hate and cringed about. Like that's not Andy digging into his playbook, in my opinion. That's just literally like Andy calling a halfback dive.
Right. Well, here's the thing about it. Maybe it is just a myth that Andy holds everything back and waits till the playoffs. Maybe this showed you that. Like this is the Chiefs that we have watched all season long. We watched them again in the Texans in that divisional round. It's the same team, man. I don't think anything's going to be remarkably different in this AFC Championship game than they have been all season long. What you see is what you get. I mean, you can sit around and be hopeful that they've just been laying off. They've been practicing all year. They have all these fancy plays that they haven't ran.
Right.
They've got this, they've got that. I don't think that's the case, guys. I think you've seen this team play, and I think you know what they are.
Hopeful enough to say that there may be some things with Hollywood and DeAndre Hopkins together on the field that maybe he's not felt the necessity to pull out. And so that I feel like there's a difference between hiding plays and holding back. In my opinion, there's a difference between holding back or just like trying not to show anything. I don't believe Andy Reid would have took an L last week to just not show something for Buffalo. But I do believe, since Buffalo has played us once, I do believe there may be a couple kinks he has saved for Buffalo. And that way, they probably may not have worked as well versus the Texans, right? They got different personnel, different matchup problems. So maybe he's got some stuff he's saving for Buffalo. And it's not like he really wanted to put it on film. Let's just wait. I think that's what it is more than anything. I think that Andy goes by matchups. He has particular things he wants to try versus matchups. And it's like you don't see it week in and week out because we're not playing Buffalo week in and week out. You're playing them when you play them. So that's why I think you'll see something different.
Right, and we'll talk more about this matchup here in just a little bit, Mike. But while we're on the subject of the lead here, this could be their last game in Arrowhead. If this is the last time that you see Travis Kelce in Arrowhead, how sad are you? How sad are you? Does it depend on how the game turns out, or is it just sad regardless?
Look, I don't think I'm so super, super hopeful about two things. One, I don't think it's Kelce's last game in Arrowhead because I do believe he'll come back and play one more season. Because I think you just go for a four-peat. I think you have to. Now, to get to that point, they have to win versus Buffalo 100%. But I don't want to see, let's just say let's just say we lose. I don't care if it's a fluke, we just didn't perform well, whatever it is. And we get our three-peat cut short, and then you have to deal with Travis Kelce retiring in the offseason. That's going to hurt a little bit.
Do you think Travis Kelce would want to retire after failing like that?
Yeah, and I don't see him wanting to do that.
He's a dog,
wants to go out
man.
on an L?
He's a dog. He's got that mentality. I don't think that's the way he would want to go out.
Do you think, though, if they got the three-peat, do you think he comes back for a 4, or does he just go out on top? I feel like you would want to be part of even more history.
I don't know, man. Here's the thing. We know Travis Kelce signed a new 2-year deal, right? This is the first year of the 2-year. So is that being like, hey, I got 2 more years in me, and then we'll see where we're at? Like, is he guaranteed to play next year? No, but do I feel like he will? Absolutely. Especially if the Chiefs, if they were to lose to Buffalo, I don't see him retiring. I just don't see it happening. I don't think he could go out with that bitter taste in his mouth.
Yeah, to me, that
Kelce's too prideful. Kelce is too much of a competitor. I don't think he could do that.
I could come more seeing him stepping away after a three-peat and going out after beating, after just doing something nobody's ever done. I could see him stepping away then more than I could taking an L to Buffalo and falling short of that.
Well, I think as long as Kelce can perform, and that's the thing. We're seeing in the playoffs here that Kelce's still a high-level tight end in this football league. He might be a little bit slower. Everybody keeps saying he looks a little bit slower. To me, he's never looked super fast. He's kind of got like that deceiving kind of fast, you know. Yeah. And that's why he's so effective.
He's got a dad bod. He's got the dad speed too. You know, like when you're playing your dad one-on-one basketball and he's worked all day. He don't even have moves, but he'll turn it on. He'll look like Jordan.
I think as long as he's healthy and he can compete at a high level, I think Kelce will be here. So I don't think this is even a discussion really. I mean, he could blindside us all. That's, you know, not out of the realm of possibility. We know he's got a lot of other stuff going on in his life now. So maybe, but at the same time, I don't see it happening. He's still playing at a high level. So win, lose, or draw. I think Kelsey is probably going to be back for next year. McCole Hardman, I think we might have seen our last McCole Hardman Arrowhead thing. Like, how long can the McCole Hardman experiment can go on?
That's what I was going to say. If they don't bring him back right now, after going and trading for, look, they let him walk once during free agency. Then they felt the need to kind of like go back and get him because we needed a little help. They
that
wanted
was a
the
desperation
familiarity,
move, right?
Yeah, they brought him in. Then they get him back in the offseason. And again, I feel like if we get to this point in the year and McCole Hardman doesn't come back from IR and they don't bring him back from IR, I feel like more than likely he's have played his last game in Arrowhead. I feel like Veach would be in a position where he would just move on. Now, could he come back in a year or two? That's very possible too. Veach loves to do that, so it wouldn't surprise me. But I would almost say if he don't get back from IR, McCole Hardman won't be on this team next year.
Right. Well, it definitely depends on
he
how
won't come back years later.
It depends on how that wide receiver room works out over the offseason anyway, because a lot of people's wondering, are they going to try to bring D-Hop back? Or are they going to try to bring Hollywood Brown back? Like, there's a lot of questions there, Juju even. So I think it kind of depends on that, where McCole Hardman's fate lies. But I don't think it's a huge percentage for McCole Hardman to be back as a Chief next year. And it doesn't look like that they're going to go with him in this game. I don't know why they would. And I don't think Andy's going to. I think he kind of alluded to that. I don't think he wanted to make it seem like absolutely he will not be back. I don't need McCole Hardman. So I think he answered it the way that seemed right for Andy, but I just don't see it happening, man. So it could be. I
really don't know where he slides in unless you just want to pull Nico Remigio off because you're scared that a costly turnover could be like, do you trust McCole Hardman returning punts more than Nico? I mean, he does a decent job of it.
That
but
would be
McCole is not his, he's not perfect with that either.
Right. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there. If McCole Hardman gets back and actually plays in the AFC Championship game, it'll be because of that. Because Nico Remigio,
I don't think it has nothing to do with the wide receiver position.
Like I said, he's been a great returner. Like, he's got great field vision. He's electric. But he can't hold on to the damn ball, and we've seen that week after week. So I think you're right. That might be the only way they would put McCole Hardman back in there and be like, hey, you're going to do this kick returning. Just make sure we don't hit any turnovers. Let's play a clean game. So that's a possibility. But, Mike, before we move on, I just want everybody in here to hit that like button for us. It just takes a second. Appreciate you guys being here. If you're just rolling in, we talked a little bit about if this could be Travis Kelce or McCole Hardman's last game in Arrowhead for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm sure we'll bring it back up later on. But if you want, you can go back and watch it later. For now, let's move on in to what's been the biggest talking point, Mike. What's been the biggest talking point for the Chiefs in the last 4 days? They're cheaters, right? It's the referees that are making the Chiefs good. The entire dynasty is tainted because it's fake. It's not real. It's all because the refs cheated for Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah. I mean, come on. That's what it is. Nobody is... There's so many, like, I am so tired of talking about this, to be honest, because I realize you kind of just, we say our piece from a, like I come at it from a, 100%, I come at it from a Chiefs fan. I come at it from a analytical position of where I want to look at the stats and see if what people are saying are right, and it just cannot be corroborated at any point. It just can't. Right. It doesn't matter what. And then it doesn't matter what you say. You're not going to convince people because why? You're trying to convince people that A, they don't want to be, they're not thinking straight. They just don't like the Chiefs and it must be for cheating.
Marlon Humphreys.
These people don't even understand the rules.
Right.
When you're getting the media and you're getting coaches and now players that are feeding the flames of ignorance, it is making the matters worse. I feel like the players are doing this out of spite because they can't beat the Chiefs on the field. So 100%. I feel like they're trying to undermine them off the field. I feel like they're trying to put all this pressure and get this big echo chamber working to the point that these officials are afraid to make proper calls. And at some point, they think the Chiefs will fall because of that. And it's very true. If the Chiefs line up against Josh Allen and Josh Allen gets his baby flop calls like he always gets, Josh Allen was just on the sideline making out with an official. The official comes over and apologizes to the guy because he misses the call.
I saw some tongue in there.
Exactly. He's horned up. He was so horned, he goes over to Josh Allen and got his little horn going.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And then I could definitely see that being a thing. And then guess what? I don't care if it's blatant. Everybody's going to sit there and they're going to laugh and be like,
Chiefs
well, that's what the Chiefs get. That's what they deserve.
Right.
And it's just not true.
That's the thing, Mike. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because I want to move on to the comments. I want to move on to people that have some sense. But I need like 10 seconds, and here it is, The calls were freaking correct. You can't hit a damn quarterback in the head in any shape or form. Good Lord, if you wonder why they threw a flag, look at how they tried to kill Trevor Lawrence just a couple weeks ago. Get the hell out of here. And if you're a Chiefs fan that's out here saying, oh, I know they were bad calls, you're feeding to the fire. Shut up. They were the correct calls. Everybody can stop crying. The Chiefs are better than you. Mike, let's move on.
100%. Well, before we go, I did want to bring this up. Casey Boozer on X brings this up. Roughing the passer calls per 100 pass attempts. Patrick Mahomes, 0.636. Russell Wilson still plays. He has a higher. Baker Mayfield still plays. Higher. Kirk Cousins sort of still plays. 743. Deshaun Watson, 781. Jared Goff, 781. Josh Allen, 936. He says it's a tracked stat. We can put this one to bed. And he's right. You can put this to bed, Steve. He does not get more. He does not get roughing the passer calls more than anybody else. You're getting ready to play the guy that the officials hold his hand. Okay. You're getting ready to play it. You're getting ready to play the biggest flopper since LeBron James. Like you're watching it. We're playing him. It's not Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like it's just not.
All season long, you hit a quarterback high. If your helmet even scrapes their face mask, guess what? It's a flag. All year long, don't matter who the quarterback is. It could be the worst quarterback in the league, and they're going to call it 9 out of 10 times. The other one, like I said, he's sliding. He gave himself up, and I understand he kind of played it to his advantage. But the problem that you have if you're the Texans is that you were a dirty team that was headhunting all year, and you almost killed Trevor Lawrence a few weeks ago doing the exact same damn thing. So when you lower your helmet down and angle yourself down at a guy that's sliding, and you even forearm him in the forehead, you're getting the flag. You're getting the damn flag. They even say in the rules, if you're in doubt, throw the flag, referee. Protect the quarterback, and that's all there is to it. Mike, let's get to the comments. Flapjack with the 2 bombs says, hit that like button, people. Listen to Flapjack. Flapjack knows his shit. Hit that like button. It'll help us out. Flapjack with the 5 bomb also says, I wonder if the referees are going to console Allen during this game. They might. If the Chiefs go out there and beat that ass, do you think they'll go over there and rub Josh Allen's shoulders on the sidelines? You think they'll coddle him and rub his hair?
Steve, all year long, there has been a narrative going around the Chiefs that the Chiefs are not good. This team is lucky. This team gets their hand held by the officials. That's the only reason they win. They've overlooked the fact there's been 16, 17, 18 people on IR, primarily offensive players. They're overlooking the fact that we lost our wide receiver 1 to a horrific knee injury. We lost our biggest offseason acquisition wide receiver before he played he played 1 snap in the preseason. Okay. We've not had him all year. We've been dealing with a rookie and a second-year left tackle, and now we're playing with a guy that is an all-pro left guard. But by any standard, he's not like an all-pro left tackle. Now, he's playing well, but he's not like – I'm just trying to say, like, we're having to put this all together with, like, duct tape. This showed how good Patrick Mahomes had been. We played the entire season without Pacheco, RB1, and we had to go get Kareem Hunt off the couch, and he played well. This shows why Andy should have been in the running for Coach of the Year. All this comes together in this game, and it is and we even made like light of this during the season. Where like the Chiefs need a statement win to get people off their back. Like they're just not scoring points. They're not doing what they need to do because people all year long they were on the Lions nutsack, and what they do they lost the Commanders. Okay, when it counted because
who
of why?
Saw that coming?
Because their head coach that you called specifically and said they couldn't get there because Dan Campbell was an ass clown. And sure enough, this dude's making stupid calls. So we wanted style points, and you don't necessarily need style points because Detroit Lions had it, and they didn't do nothing. They lost to a rookie quarterback, okay? We don't have style points, but if there's a time for style points, it's this week. It's this week.
Not?
You need to beat Buffalo so bad that nobody can say calls.
Well, that's the thing. You've accepted the villain role now.
Everybody
is fully engulfed in Chiefs derangement syndrome. People are so tired of the Chiefs winning that they have lost their damn minds. They don't even want to consider facts or the rules of football anymore. And it's not just delusional casual fans. Like you said, it's players, it's media members. Like everybody has lost their damn mind. So what do you do if you're the villain in this situation, Mike? If you really want to piss the world off and be like, you know what? Suck it. What do? You go out and you whoop the Bills' ass on national television. All eyes on you. I can almost bet you. Okay, that Chiefs-Texans game was the most streamed, viewed game there had ever been. I think it broke all kinds of records. This one's going to be the same. The whole world.
The last game versus the Texans did.
Yeah, it broke a bunch of records.
I didn't see anything on that, but I mean, I'm sure it was
but here's the
pretty
thing.
well watched.
All eyes are on you. The world's watching. If you really want to piss them off, if you really want to win, you go out there and you whoop the Bills' ass in front of everybody.
Beat them to where there's
Make
no
them all
shadow
cry.
of a doubt.
Because I guarantee you, if you go out there and you whoop Buffalo's ass, not only is it guaranteeing your spot in the Super Bowl and you can maybe make history by winning 3 Super Bowls in a row, but you're going to have 80% of the planet crying themselves to sleep that night.
Pillars of
And that's a
salt.
beautiful thing because they deserve it. All they've done is talk trash. All they've done is talk trash. Go out and prove them wrong. Prove that you're just better than everybody else.
If you're everybody on the Chiefs, anybody that puts a uniform on, anybody that works in that building, don't you have to be tired of the disrespect? And now you've got a completely bogus narrative that the media, players, coaches, everybody is buying into, trying to say that everything you've worked for your entire life to be as good as you are at this point is worthless because you're getting your hand held and
scripted.
It's all the officials and it's scripted. It wasn't scripted for nobody else. It's only scripted when Mahomes. It's only scripted when the Chiefs win. They need to go out, put all of that inside. If they could bottle that up and chug it like a Stone Cold with a oh hell yeah, just smash it up and let's go and let's bang some heads around out there because I'm tired of it. I want to see an ass whooping on Sunday night.
Absolutely,
I want to see 21 point.
The narrative never stops. You know, they were cheating for Patrick Mahomes because he's going to be the face of the NFL.
How great would it be, Steve?
They're cheating for the Chiefs because Taylor Swift, so they're scripting it for the Chiefs now. Now it's, they added in Caitlin Clark, so they're definitely going to cheat for the Chiefs.
Caitlin Clark.
Hey, give it up, you ass clowns. The Chiefs are just better than your team.
Would it not be great by halftime? We've got our feet kicked up by like 3 scores, just like reveling in all the crybaby crap going on social media everywhere.
Just working them thumbs out on X,
we get a
making fun of
full
Bills
half
fans.
of just watching the entire planet melt down into a salt pile.
Flapjack with a 2-bomb says ready for Mahomes and Travis. Sweet love on the field. It's the best duo of all time. Best passer catcher duo of all time. I'm not talking just playoffs. I'm talking of all time. It just is. And people need to realize that. Flapjack with another 2-bomb says a whole bottle of Red Chew, people. He's surpassed the Blue Chew onto the Red Chew.
We're going to the
Red Kingdom. It's Red Kingdom. They're all going to be horned up, Mike. Flapjack with another 2-bomb. Is Flapjack the only person that could super chat out there? Ask yourselves that question, and we'll find out in a minute. Flapjack with another 2-bomb.
Buffalo celebrates on our field.
They can't allow that to happen. I mean, like you said, like this team's heard it all. It's not just us, guys. It's not just me and Mike. It's not just you guys in the chat. All of those players have heard all this chatter all year. They've seen what's going on in the media this week. They've probably went back and heard how them broadcasters pushed a narrative during their damn game last week. And you know this don't sit right with them. If they have any kind of pride, they will get out there and just absolutely stomp a mud hole in Buffalo's ass. I truly believe that. And I know that's not going to be easy to do. Buffalo's a good football team. So it's easier said than done. I get that. But you're going to give every last ounce of energy you got to do that. Like, I want to see full effort, and I don't mean just effort. I want to see, like, Isaiah Pacheco. You know how crazy he is when he gets up from his first run of the game? I want to see that 110% of the time from every player on the football field. Just pure intensity.
Yeah, I want to see so much intensity. It almost the Texans player that led up a 68-yard kickoff return, first play of the game, and gets so horned up he throws his helmet and pushes his coach. That's the kind of fire we need out there. Like, how dumb is that guy? Like, was he angry? Did anybody find out what that was about? Like, was that a burst of anger? Was that an excitement? Like, surely you wasn't, like, celebrating the fact that...
I have no idea what was happening there.
That was
mental
ridiculous.
breakdown? I'm not for sure. Let's move on. Grayskull with a 2-bomb says, can we get a horn emoji, please? I'll work on that. We need a horn.
We definitely need a horn. Maybe a blue chew. Maybe a little blue pill.
Here's the thing. It's 2025 now. So I was thinking about refreshing some things. I'd like to get some new emojis. I'd also like to get the store updated, get some new merchandise on there. But we'll freshen it up for the year. How about that? I was thinking about that the other day. It's just going to take a little bit of time to do all this stuff. but definitely got a list going. So I'll put that horn emoji on that list.
There's been a lot of people out there actually emailing us. We see all these. We don't get a chance to reply to a lot of them because we got a lot of crap going on. But there's people suggesting T-shirt designs and things that they would like to see, and we will look through all that. We'll consider through it, obviously.
We consider all,
but
of it,
we're very much considering these things just because we haven't got back to you or whatever. We see it, but yeah, we're considering some of that stuff because people come up with some pretty good ideas.
While you're on that too, we get a lot of emails from people that just tell us their story or their Chiefs stories or whatever it is. And, like Mike said, we don't get a chance to sit down and reply to everybody. Would love to be able to do that. But we do read them and do enjoy those, so we appreciate you guys. Kay Wayne, where in the world is Kay Wayne? I bet I know. Unless he's ventured off.
Kay
But he
Wayne,
said slap that
Kay Wayne
horn
had a rough
button.
night last night, though.
Slap that horn button, people. Hit the like button. Takes 2 seconds. Help your boys out. Kay Wayne says so.
Kay Wayne's a big time.
I know.
Irish
He even
guy.
sent me a message and just said, go Irish or something
Me too.
like that. And,
Look, I like Notre Dame. I loved their campus. I loved South Bend. I loved visiting their thing. They got a lot of history. I will root for South Bend and Notre Dame anytime they're on the field. Granted, unless they're going against the Cats, because come on, that's who we're born and raised to love. But man, I wish that was a very anticlimactic championship game for some reason. It didn't get a lot of hype yesterday. I don't know if it was the presidential nomination, the inauguration, or just a lot of crap going on in the world, I guess.
It was a weird day to do
it, didn't it?
I'll tell you this, I think that the college football layout for the playoffs now, it's interesting for people, but I don't know if it hits for me. I'm going to be quite honest about it. And here's the reason why. And people can argue with me all day, or they can argue with the wall. But when you pull out a playoff format and you keep stretching it, kind of like the NCAA tournament to where there's 64 in basketball.
But now they've put 37 playoff games.
Right. So in football now they've stretched it out to 12.
Or play in.
Listen, the best teams are not going to be in the finals. Okay? And I'm not saying they always were.
Right. I feel like
I'm not saying that they always were. I'm not saying that the
that
people that voted on these teams or picked the teams last time were always right. But I can guarantee you they're probably right more of the time than a 12-game tournament's going to give you. Because football's different, man.
Yeah, but Ohio State was probably the best team in the country.
Were they,
towards
though?
the end of the year, man. They were playing the best football.
I would almost guarantee
Notre Dame was
though,
playing good football, to be honest.
They both were. But I would almost guarantee you that if you were to take Ohio State and just make them play Georgia 3 times, how many times do you think they win 2 out of 3?
Steve, you're an SEC homer, dude.
I'm just saying.
You're an
There's
SEC
a reason
homer.
why it was like that. Flip with the 5 bomb. What's up, Flip? Good to see you, buddy.
Flip, baby.
He says that the Chiefs have never won a Super Bowl. Will everybody be rooting for us right then? So that's the thing. I've noticed that with America loves the underdog story. They hate greatness. It's funny because you think it would be you love to watch greatness. Like when we were kids, Michael Jordan was out there doing things that had never been done before. People had never seen it. And that's the thing. I didn't necessarily like Michael Jordan. I liked watching the Knicks when I was a kid. I liked Patrick Ewing, John Starks, all them cats.
Oakley. You liked all the a-holes of the world.
Yeah, Anthony Mason. There was they even had Grandma Ma for a while.
Yeah.
Think about that. If you move on to Allen Houston and them, but here's the thing. But even as a child, as a 10 to 12-year-old child, I still knew I was watching something great. You still knew Michael Jordan was great. And if he wasn't directly playing the team that I wanted to see win, I still didn't care if he won. I wasn't actively rooting against him.
Yeah, I would never turn on the finals and be I'm rooting against him. Or even say the Kobe Shaq years with LA.
So at what point are these slapnuts out there going to be you know what? I got to set my feelings aside here. I'm watching history.
I'm going to be dead honest, Steve.
This is crazy.
I did not root against the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I never did either. No one cared. If they weren't playing the Chiefs, I didn't root against them.
I did not care. In the height of their dynasty, me being a hardcore Chief fan that just couldn't hardly get a playoff win, I never cheered against the New England Patriots. Because
Even
why?
the year that they beat us because of D Ford, I didn't root against them in the Super Bowl.
But it was kind of just crazy to watch Brady, and you kind of just respect that. And Brady gets all those calls. They had Deflategate. They're recording practices. You name it.
They want to talk about Will Anderson Jr.'s helmet to the face. What about Chris Jones?
Exactly. So there was plenty of those.
Tom
But do you
Brady, what was
remember-
it? Just waved in front of his face.
Do you remember when the Falcons were ahead and then had that monumental meltdown? I wasn't sitting there rooting against, the Brady and them to screw that up. Like, I was literally watching that with like complete fascination of being like, this team is going to figure out a way to win this. And I feel like the Chiefs are that team.
The
It
Chiefs
doesn't matter
are
if you're
that
down or
team right
out.
now.
Like, they will figure out ways to make it very close and probably win the game.
Well, I mean, that's been the narrative all week. It's like the Texans outperformed them in every metric, and they still won. That's because they
cares?
cheated. It's not because they cheated. It's because they're a damn good team, and they found a way to win. Like, it doesn't matter. And, like, if you wanted to play the stat game, I think Nick Wright did that pretty good. He said, for a team that only scores one touchdown in a game, only, like, 3% of those teams have ever won playoff games. So if you want to flip the script on the whole it should have went this way or that way, then you can absolutely do that. But no, the Chiefs are just at that level now, Mike. They're a good team. They're a great team. What am I saying good for? They're great.
Yeah.
We've seen their greatness for years now.
You're
Andy Reid
underselling
has
it
built
with the good.
Yeah. Andy Reid has built a winning culture. This is what they do. They find ways to win. And when you're playing the Chiefs, you better play a perfect game. You better play a perfect game. And the Texans didn't do that. And I think a part of the reason why they didn't do that is because they had the wrong mentality coming in. If you really came in there thinking that you had to play the refs, then you already lost because you're a sissy.
You lied.
You're an idiot.
If you knew you were playing against the refs,
you wouldn't be taking headshots. You wouldn't be taking headshots.
Who goes after a quarterback? Who goes after a quarterback and tries to tackle right like that? With their hands up around their face mask, with the crown of your head. And there's the screenshot of it actually making contact.
That's a penalty all day, every day.
Explain to me how that's not a penalty. And even Chiefs fans, yeah, those were soft. Explain to me how that's not a penalty. Look where his hands are. His hands are so high, they almost touch his face mask.
Head and neck area.
So if you knew you were playing the refs, why'd you tackle like that? If you knew you were playing the refs, why are you putting two? The guy in the back already hit his head, and the guy in the front has got a complete forearm to the side of the head.
Right.
And if Mahomes is sliding, he slid late. What are we supposed to do? Well, if he's sliding, then he gave himself up. Then what are you hitting him for?
Right.
Like, which one is it? What was I supposed to do? He's sliding. Lamar Jackson slid yesterday late, and he dove head first, and he got hit by 3 different Bills. They didn't throw a flag, and it wasn't because they favored Mahomes. It's because nobody hit Lamar Jackson in the head.
Right.
Like, why is this a thing? People are dumb. It's the Chief derangement syndrome has got people mentally insane.
They're crazy, baby. Michael Flores with the 5 bomb says Mahomes is going to talk about Josh Allen and let the boy watch on the sideline at how it's done. Let's go, ACU crew. I believe so, man. I think this is a game that it's got to mean a lot for the Chiefs, not only because they're chasing history, but because of what we talked about. They've been getting trashed all week. Media, other players, casuals, everybody that is not a Chiefs fan literally is at their throat and calling them frauds and cheaters and everything else. Patrick Mahomes, if you have ever had a reason to go on the football field and go scorched earth, it's this one. It's this one.
Dude,
I mean, that's all there is to it.
I thought we were primed because last game we had Petty Pat. It come off all the Pro Bowl selection.
He better be extra petty this week.
He had his turtleneck on because it was so cold. So we had Petty, turtleneck Pat, and we didn't get a full on. So I think it's still he's gonna have the equivalent blue balls.
What if they just go out there? What if they just go out there and run the ball down the Bills' throat?
Nuts.
What if they just go out there and run the ball down the Bills' throat with Kareem
I would
Hunt?
be fine with it.
And Josh Allen just has to sit on the sideline. Patrick Mahomes looks and points at him, and he's just like,
let the boy watch.
That would be a beautiful thing. I just want to see
Can
a
you
beat
do
down.
that? As Andy Reid and the Chiefs, do you think they could come out and play some sort of ball control kind of offense and maybe limit? Or do you think they don't do that because that's kind of counterproductive to what they want to do?
I think Andy's going to have his game plan. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But would that be a bad thing? Absolutely not. The Chiefs have done nothing but win grinded out games all year. They find ways to win. Buffalo's not used to that. If you notice, Buffalo, they're not winning close games. They've been blowing people out here and there. They kind of got a little bit of the Lions thing going on. So now you could say they won a close game the other day, but that was really because the Ravens imploded.
Yeah, they imploded there at the end.
The Bills did not stop them. The Bills actually probably deserved to lose that game.
No, the Bills let them march right down the field.
I honestly think if Mark Andrews don't fumble that ball, the Ravens are probably going to take the lead there. And then on top of that, when Mark Andrews dropped that 2-point conversion, if he would have caught it, I fully believe that the Ravens were going to win in overtime. They had all the momentum, and they just couldn't stop them at that point. It would really probably depend on the coin flip, not for sure. Appreciate the 5. Michael Flores, Flapjack City with the 2 bomb. Says, who are we starting at running back? I don't think it matters who we start, but Kareem Hunt better have a damn touch before Q2, or I'm going to be pissed.
Agreed. Yeah, I think you got to get Kareem Hunt going early and often, but I feel like Pacheco will march right out there with the starters.
I'm fine with that, but
yeah,
you have to get Kareem Hunt involved.
Well, here's the thing. I felt like what they wanted to do, and we talked about this a little bit the other day. I felt like the way the Chiefs, like that big kickoff return right off the rip, I felt like got them out of their first 15. So if Andy stuck with his first 15, I felt like they had to mix that up a little bit because something tells me play number 3 wasn't going to be a fade to Marquise Hollywood Brown on play 3.
Right.
So that leads me to believe that the Chiefs did come out of their first 15 right off the rip. And so Pacheco got the first series, and then he comes back out for the second series. And so by the time that Kareem actually got to a normal third series, he was in the second quarter, and we kind of went 3 and out because when he come in, he didn't get a touch. They ended up passing the ball. So I believe it was a circumstance of the play and the way everything got started. It almost felt like it was amazing to start the game off like that. You kind of had this feeling like, well, here goes the Chiefs. We're going to rout somebody. But it almost, in a way, I felt like threw Andy and his play calling off a little bit for almost the entire day.
It totally
had that
did.
feeling a little bit.
I feel like it did. It's like they were a little closer than they thought they were going to be. These plays were designed
right, so it kind of set that first 15 off, and then once he got
Yeah.
away from the first 15, he kind of like didn't go back to it, or he was debating like, should I go back to it? Should I do this? And it's like we never found a rhythm.
Right, and that's something they have to do this week. Flatjack with another 2 bomb says, Mahomes once said Allen scared of a coin toss. Man, isn't it funny how now they're calling that they need to look at the rule changes for the QB slide and everything else and for the roughing the passer. The Chiefs are hated so much that every time they benefit from something, they will try to change the rule.
Yeah.
And that's the first example back on the coin toss thing. And Josh Allen's just scared in general. Don't let him fool you. Let's talk about this for a second, and then we'll take a break. But do you honestly, like sometimes when I look at this matchup coming up, I'm like, how many times can Josh Allen play a perfect game against the Chiefs?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say
How
that
many
just a few
times
minutes
can
ago.
he play a perfect game? Because every time we have played them, he plays top notch, the best football he's ever played. He's spot on. He's accurate. He's lucky. Everything goes his way, and he still loses. Can we just get one game where Josh Allen plays like Josh Allen does sometimes? Like, why do we always get his best shot and it's just a perfect game? Everything goes his way. And that's why these games are close. So, I mean, I really think if Josh Allen just came out and performed like he does 50% of the time, 65% of the time, it could be that game where the Chiefs just come out and make a huge statement right here in the AFC Championship game. What do you think, Mike?
Well, I'll say this. If you look at regular season, Josh Allen against us in the regular season is 4-1. So it's a lot different in playoff scenarios. But he's 4-1 in the regular season. And to what you just said, the first game he ever played against us, he lost. And he looked human. He was 14 of 27, only had 122 passing yards, which is exactly what he had the other day.
Right.
He had 127 or 128, but 2 touchdowns and a pick, and he had a passer rating of a 73. But then to go back to your point, the rest of the times he played us, a passer rating of a 139. That's almost a perfect score. A 118. That's dang near perfect. And then he slumped down to about a 69, but he still threw the ball 233 yards and a touchdown. Okay. And then he turns around and goes, just this season, I think he had an 84 QBR just this past November. So he didn't look his greatest, but he still put up 262 yards and a touchdown. And if he wouldn't have threw that pick, he probably would have had a perfect game. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it just becomes that thing where, like, the Chiefs, and I see this a lot. Like, even as a Kentucky basketball fan, like, of course we've kind of fell off in the last few years with Kentucky basketball or this and that, but there for the longest time, Kentucky was like the cream of the crop. And every time we played somebody with SEC team, no matter what it is, it was
off.
a whiteout. It was a blackout. They were getting away free T-shirts. They wanted to be the best. You got to beat Kentucky. Got to be. That was
And
every
some guy that's
single-
going to graduate there and be an Uber driver would hit like 20
Yeah,
threes.
he couldn't miss. The rim looked like
Yeah.
a hula hoop, and that still happens to this day. Tune into a Kentucky game next time they play Saturday. Watch them. They'll play a nobody, and you will have somebody shoot lights out on this kid. And I'm sure it happens to Kansas and everybody else. I get it, but that is the same mentality.
All right. I
When
mean, you're at
people
the
are
top
playing
of the mountain,
Chiefs,
right? You're at the mountaintop. You're getting
Yeah.
you're getting that shot every
When
time.
they play the Chiefs, you've always got that one player that will just play out of his ass. And why it has to be Josh Allen, I don't know. I wish Josh Allen would just suck. It would be hilarious to watch him
It's
just
funny
suck.
though because you say it's just Josh Allen, but it's not. I mean, we've seen it with Jordan Love. We've seen it with
True.
what's his name?
Yeah, we've seen it with the kid from the
The Jets. What's his name?
Zach Wilson.
I forgot his name. Zach Wilson. I couldn't even think of his name. He sucked so bad, and he had a career day against us. And it's just like we're used to it. But I maybe one day they could be human. Hey guys, we appreciate you all being here. Do us a favor while this ad's playing, hit that like button for us. Let's get more people in here. 516 on AFC Championship week. Chiefs
What are you
Kingdom,
doing?
we could do better. Hit that like button. Get this out to more people. Stick around. We got a lot more to talk about.
Today's show is sponsored by Manta Sleep Mask. You got to check this out. We weren't big believers in sleep masks. I thought they were going to be too big, too hot, too bulky. But Manta Sleep Mask changed that perception for me. These sleep masks are so comfortable. You can change the cup around your eye and find a custom fit. That way the mask finds your comfortability. With these pillows around your eyes, you feel zero pressure. And with a 100% blackout technology, you can go to sleep anytime, day or night, no matter how erratic your sleep schedule is. You can go with the sound mask, the pro mask, the silk mask, or just the sleep mask. You should go check out their website by clicking the link we have provided for you in the description below and read up on which option sounds best for you. But regardless of which mask you choose, use our code ACU10 at checkout and receive a 10% discount that we have secured through Manta Sleep for you, Chiefs Kingdom. Again, go to the description, find the link, find the mask you want to try out, use code ACU10 and get yourself some of the best sleep you've ever had in preparation of this long football season.
Oh, I hear it, baby. You hear that, Michael?
Do you hear that?
Peter Ortiz with the 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go, Peter. A damn legend
go.
is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. A little round of applause. Show him
Peter in
some
the
love
house.
in the chat. If you get one of those memberships, make sure to thank Peter in the chat. We'll be doing our members only live stream this week, ladies and gentlemen. This week we'll be giving away something nice over there. So if you won one of those, now you have a chance to win some Chiefs merchandise. So appreciate you, Peter. And then we got Flapjack with the 2 bombs. Says Charles O'Menihue, counting on you for redemption. Charles O'Menihue, he's been pretty good, Mike. He's been good with the Chiefs. And come on, you got to get it slowly, though. You took your arms out way too fast. You have to maybe lean your head back a little bit. Soak it in. Charles O'Menihue, he's not shy. He'll let you know that he's the greatest of all time. So let's see it, Charles. Let's see it, baby. He's been good, though. He's been good. As long as he's getting sacks, he can do his little thing out there. I don't care. Give him 10 minutes to sulk in it or whatever, or bathe in the success of the sack. Whatever he needs to do, I'm okay with it. But he's got to get out there and do it, baby. He's got to get out there and do it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I agree. I think it's going to be a decent game for O'Menihue. O'Menihue didn't get to play in the last AFC Championship. Remember, he got injured.
Right. Well, here's the
He got
thing,
injured
man.
during the game, I believe.
Speaking of injuries, this Chiefs team's a lot different than they were when they played the Bills in the regular season.
Yeah.
So, like the
We
Bills,
didn't have Butker last time.
right now the Bills, they're going to be looking back at tape from that game, but they've got to account for much more now because it's a different team. There's a lot of different stuff going on, so it's not like they can just bank on that. Who do you think is going to get utilized more this game? We talked about how last week no targets to D-Hop or Hollywood is absolutely absurd. I don't know what Andy was doing with that game plan, him and Nagy. I don't know what was going on out there, but that seems wild. And I think a big reason for that is because the Texans forgot to guard Travis Kelce. They were like, oh, yeah, they have the greatest tight end of all time on their team. Suck it, Gronk. It's just the truth. But either way, they're not guarding him. So Travis is just going off. So maybe they just didn't have to look at those options. I don't know. Maybe that played into it. But against Buffalo, I feel like you need a bigger dose of those two guys. And like we talked about earlier, a bigger dose of Kareem Hunt earlier and more often. But what else do you think the Chiefs need to be doing as far as that game plan? What do you think Matt Nagy's in his laboratory right now working up? What do you think he's thinking? And what do you think Andy's going to approve of?
Right. I don't know what he's going to actually come up with, in my opinion. I do think we're going to see a lot more utilization from the wide receiver this week, though. I really do. Like last week, I did notice that going back and watching all 22 a little bit, I noticed that the Texans were pretty spot on when we tried to get to a very quick passing game. Like if we tried to get to a screen game, utilize wide receivers early, like Xavier Worthy, whoever, they were blowing it up pretty good. Like they were jumping those routes. Now the thing is I don't know why Nagy and Andy and Patrick didn't use that to their advantage. Catch them trying to jump those routes and go over the top a few times. They had plenty of time to do it. Like Patrick was not running for his life at all. Jawan Taylor played one of his best, if not the best game he's had in a uniform this year. Again, Joe Tooney gave up 3 pressures, I believe. 1 sack, 3 pressures. Caliendo didn't give up anything, I don't think. Maybe 2 pressures, but it wasn't nothing crazy. No sacks or nothing. Creed, Trey Smith, neither one of them really give up anything. So he had a lot of time, or at least enough time to do things like that. At least 1 or 2 times you had it. So I don't know why they didn't do that. I think you will see things like that this time. But, yeah, I don't think Buffalo will be the last time we played Buffalo, if you remember, it was a Xavier Worthy game. Like, straight up, they used Xavier Worthy. It's like they did it out of spite. You know, the whole Xavier Worthy.
And then they kind of took it away, though.
They took it away, and it worked well in the first half, and they took it away in the second. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't use Xavier Worthy in similar ways early to try to see what Buffalo does to maybe get them to bite a little bit. Or maybe they use Xavier Worthy as a bit of a decoy this time. And they're like, hey, they love to get the ball to Worthy. That's what they did last time to beat us a little bit. Maybe they'll try, and then maybe we don't. Maybe you'll see a Worthy, on a little quick in, and maybe, you got Hollywood running a wheel route on the backside of them. Who knows? I have no idea. I'm sure Andy and Nagy's going to cook up something nice, though.
Yeah, I think so. And here's the thing, man. Just overall, I think it's all about putting points on the board. If this offense can get out there and put points on the board, our defense is very, very good. And they're even better than the last time we played Buffalo. Buffalo scored 30 points on us last time. 30 points. That might be that's the largest margin that they've allowed all season. And here's the thing about it. Like, I don't think Buffalo's going to be able to go out and put 30 plus on our defense. I just don't.
Right.
So if we go out and put points on the board, that's the name of the game, right? Of course, you want as many points as you can get. But if this offense can just figure out a way to slap up 30-plus points on this board, your chances of winning this game have just increased dramatically. Like, I'm not talking a little bit. I mean dramatically, because our defense, they're not just going to let Josh Allen waltz into the end zone. That's not going to happen. And let's talk about Buffalo's defense for a minute, and the reason why I think the Chiefs could put a lot of points on the board. If we're talking defense, Buffalo is the 17th overall defense in the entire league. They're less than mid, Michael. They're less than mid. They've allowed 341.5 yards on average. In the playoffs, 350. 350. And they're one of the worst teams as far as letting up touchdowns and everything else. Buffalo's defense in total is number 17. If you talk about their passing defense, it gets even worse for the Bills. They are number 24 in the league defending the pass. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. We should be able to exploit that secondary.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're not that good. They're just not. In the playoffs, they've tightened it up a little bit. They've went from allowing 226 yards per game in passing to 192.5. So they have improved a little bit. They've tightened up a little bit in the playoffs, but they're still bottom feeders in the league.
Another big thing here is that we're forgetting that you have Jalen Watson back now.
Yeah.
Jalen Watson has now got a game under his belt. I think he plays more next week, and I think he actually looks closer to where he was when he got injured. If you remember the first game, Josh Allen and who was it? The kid they got from the Browns, the wide receiver. They hooked
Amari
up,
Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. They hooked up a few times on Najee Johnson and burnt Najee a little bit. And that was the first time everybody started harping
He
on
also
Najee a little bit.
made some ridiculous, unlikely
Right.
catches.
He made some
right?
unlikely catches. So that's what I'm saying. Now you've got McDuffie and you've got Watson and different things that you can start throwing around. I think that now shuts down some of the receivers. I don't even think Trent McDuffie lined up against Khalil Shakur one single time. I know in the first half.
But now that's more likely,
Right, and I think you have to. I think Khalil Shakur is probably their number one at
I think
this point,
Mac Hollins, I think, is their leading receiver.
which is weird.
Exactly, and
That's odd.
that's something else that we should talk about. If your leading receiver is Mac Hollins, like what's going on here? Like, are they really as scary as people think?
Right, it sounds like to me like people are just scheming, and Josh Allen's just doing a good job of having time in the pocket and getting the ball to his open guy, and
Right.
more than likely his top targets are getting taken away. I think the Chiefs they got to do 3 or 4 different things here to stay in this. It's not going to be as easy as just saying, look, stop this, you win. Buffalo's good enough that they can keep adjusting. You're going to have to let Josh Allen is going to have to beat you with his arm, in my opinion. Do not let him do it with his legs. You've got to play the spy. So you're either going to have to play Drew Tranquil or Leo as a spy. You have to do it. Hell, I don't care if you.
Of course.
I don't care if you play Jaden Hicks as a spy.
Yeah, man, that kid's a beast. He's going to be all over the field.
Something like that, but you got to do that.
I like
You
the
gotta
idea of Leo doing it. Leo is strong enough to take Josh Allen down. A lot of people aren't.
Right.
Josh Allen's a big guy with momentum. He's tough to take down. Not for John Cena, baby. Leo will drive him into the ground. So I think that's the guy that needs to be spying him.
And I still think you have to take away James Cook. You can't let James Cook run all over you because Mixon had a day, but it almost felt like that was Spags' game plan.
I really do think that was by design. And maybe I'm wrong, but if you look back at the entire season, the Chiefs' run defense, now they had been declining a little bit over the last few weeks, but at the same time, all year long, they've been shutting down the best of the best out there. They shut down Derrick Henry. They shut down, just name them. We played a gauntlet through the season, and they didn't allow running backs to do jack shit. And then in this game, just magically, Joe Mixon's just having a day. I feel like that was by design. I really do. But with Buffalo, Mike, I think probably their highlight on defense is their run defense. Okay? I think they're only they're number 12 in the league in run defense, which means they average about 115 rushing yards allowed. In the playoffs, 128. So they're declining a little bit. If we take advantage of that, okay, so if your highlight of your team on your defense is your run stopping ability, if we get Kareem Hunt going early and often, and we succeed in the run game, and we win in the trenches, and all of a sudden their backs are against the damn wall, and their secondary, who has been struggling all year, really has to step up. They really got to step up. Is that where you get Buffalo on the ropes? Is that where you get them on the ropes and you just beat their ass because they can't stop our run game? So guess what? We're just gonna exploit you. And I'm sorry, the other way around, Buffalo's got a great offense. We've seen it all year. But our defense is a beast. Our defense is damn good. People don't talk about the Chiefs' defense enough. George Karlaftis has freaking 7 sacks in 8 playoff games. This guy's an animal in the playoffs. Chris Jones, he's going to make his presence known every time there's a third down. Every time there's a big play, Chris Jones is going to make his presence known. Yeah. I'm not worried about our defense. So if our offense gets out there and just really puts the Bills on the ropes, it could be a long day for Buffalo and Arrowhead, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be – I think the Chiefs are going to come out and play – I think Spags – I do not have any doubt that Spags is going to come out and come up with something that's going to work. Now, is he going to dial up these crazy blitzes? Is he going to let his front four be able to rush? I feel like our front four is starting to come together and play a little bit better, and you've seen that with Charles Omenihu and Mike Dana and especially George Karlaftis last week. But Josh Allen's a different kind of beast. You have to stop him from running the ball, and he's a monster to bring down. Come on, this dude's like a freight train. So
right.
I don't think Spags is going to have trouble with trying to defend and beat Josh Allen, but I'm very curious to see what he comes up with, because I think he's going to come up with some very exotic stuff.
He's going to have to. I mean, the Bills do have a pretty good offensive line, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to have to do what he has to do to get pressure. But the way our boys have been playing on the defensive line in the playoffs, man, I feel good about it. I also feel good about what Spags has been able to do with the pressure. Mike, they talked about the annoying ass. Troy Aikman even talked about how when in doubt, when they need something, Spags is going to bring the pressure, and you got to stop it. And that's the thing. Buffalo does have a good offensive line, but Spags is a master at this. He's been doing it for his entire career. So he's going to confuse those guys. He's going to make it tough on them. And I think you have to do that. You have to put the pressure on Josh Allen. You got Leo spying his ass to make sure he's not going to run all over you. And you got to put pressure in his face. Let Josh Allen do what Josh Allen does, which is absolutely just lose his mind and throw 5 picks. Or just turn the ball over. That's what Josh Allen is known for in pressure situations. Put the pressure on him. It's the playoffs. Put the pressure in his face and let him melt down.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe that's what they got to do. So I'm not worried about it. I think Spags is going to have a pretty good game plan. And I actually believe Andy and them is going to show us something a little different. Now, I don't know how different. Like, will it just be something along the lines of using Worthy as the decoy, like I said, or maybe they go back to the Worthy thing. Like Worthy even looked good last week. Worthy made a heck of a catch there when he adjusted to that ball.
Xavier Worthy's the truth, bro. He's going to be good.
Yeah, I feel a lot better about that kid after one full
it's
season.
So weird, man.
Knowing that he was able to withstand the hits of an NFL season.
Well, that's the thing about it with Xavier Worthy. Right? Everybody knows I was more an Xavier Legette kind of guy. I thought he could really be a beast in our offense, right? But in hindsight, Brett Veach and them are always right, aren't they? They know better than me. And that's the thing about it. I saw the tape I saw of Xavier Worthy at Texas. When I seen him on the field in the NFL, this kid has so much more to his game than speed. So much more. Like, he's going to be such a good receiver, man. As long as he can stay healthy and out there. Xavier Worthy is a beast, and I think he could be a huge weapon in this game against Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, Mike, we got a 5-bomb from our boy Peter. He says Hunt and Travis equals a win. Well, we've talked about this all season long, too. And just real quick, shout out Chiefs Kingdom, bringing it in, baby. We're up to like 1650 right now. They're finally showing up. They woke up, baby.
It's cruising.
Come on, Chiefs Kingdom, get out there. Show them how it's done, okay? But we're all ready for this Buffalo game. But, yeah, we've talked about all year. If the offense is stagnant, what gets this offense rolling? What's always got the offense rolling? Pitch and catch to Kelsey. Do what you got to do, even if it's 3 yards, 4 yards, whatever it is. Get that rhythm going. Get that rhythm going. Get that defense to be like, shit, we got to cover Travis Kelsey. We got to put 2 or 3 guys on him. Open that bad boy up. And I really think that's it, Peter. Let Hunt do what he does on the ground, which is have excellent field vision, gash off 4, 5, 6 yards of carry. Pepper the ball to Travis Kelsey to open up the rest of the offense out there. And then just beat the fire out of them with freaking Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, D-Hop. I mean, there's so many options for this team, Mike. I think if Matt Nagy and Andy Reid can execute a very good game plan, I just don't have a whole lot of doubt in this game. The Chiefs are better. I know that Buffalo beat them, but that was a different Chiefs team with a lot of injuries. Mm-hmm. And I just think that the Chiefs are the better team here. I mean, all around in all 3 phases of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm getting ready. I'm trying to look up stats right now. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm zoning out or whatever, but I was trying to find stats. I wanted to see exactly what Travis Kelsey.
It's okay, Michael. I'll bring the energy for you, baby.
I was going to see what Travis Kelsey done versus the Bills in the first matchup, but not just what he did, but who he matched up against. What was it? Week 12? Week 14? When did we play the Bills? Week 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, week
like
11.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like it was a lot faster than... Okay. So here it is. We have the coverage matchups. So this is what I wanted to show you. Here, I'll share the screen with you guys. I mean, a lot of people don't have PFF. You know what? I'll just let them know that All Chiefed Up give it to you for free, and let's see if they don't try to sue us. Okay, here we go. Najee Johnson, this is our defense. So Najee Johnson matched up against Khalil Shakir. Look, you can see down the board, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Amari Cooper, James Cook, Dawson Knox, they all pretty much ate on Najee Johnson. Najee Johnson finished with a 42.7. He gave up 9 catches for 103 yards and a tutty that game. So now look at the difference there if that's Jalen Watson. You know what I'm trying to say? You think Jalen Watson's giving up 9 catches for 103 yards and a touchdown? You think Jalen Watson's going to give up 5 catches for first downs?
I don't believe so, Michael.
I don't believe so either. And I just don't see it happening. Chamari Connor did not have a good game that game either. He ended up finishing a full 63-9, which is fine, but that's only because against Mac Hollins and Dawson Knox, he played a little bit better. But anytime he was matched up on a receiver, which Chamari Connor should not be, he is not that slot receiver kind of guy. He's not going to be a McDuffie slot receiver, okay? So Shakir and Samuel just torched him. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was 4 catches for 40 yards. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he didn't even knock down a single ball or nothing. He didn't break up a pass. He didn't do nothing. He gave up 2 first downs. Nick Bolton had a horrible coverage day, like down the board. Justin Reed done pretty well, but he was matched up on Khalil Shakir. 2 catches, 17 yards. That's kind of odd. McDuffie just swamped 77.9. I mean, he shut down whoever he was against. And it's weird that McDuffie actually lined up against James Cook and Ty Johnson. Like, what? That's odd, too. But, okay, so let's go down. Let's find the matchup, though. I want to see the matchup for Travis Kelce. And so what I'm going to have to do is let's back it up to Buffalo here and go to coverage matchups. So Taron Johnson, look, we eat Taron Johnson alive. D-Hop was a 74. Samaje was a 74. Noah Gray, 72. Caliendo ran and got a reception for 5 yards on this cat. Like, Taron Johnson give up a first down to Mike Caliendo, bro. I'm trying to find Kelce, who Kelce primarily worked against. Okay, Cam Lewis right here. He actually done a good job against Kelce, even though Kelce caught a ball for 6 yards. Christian Benford, linebacker, he done pretty well against Kelce. Kelce did catch his 1 target, but for only 2 yards and one yak yard. Up here,
wasn't this game before Kelce woke up this year too?
It kind of was.
I feel like he came in late.
That was pretty much all Travis Kelce did. That was all he did. So Kelce has to come on. So what I'm basically trying to say is this. Not only did we play with a lot of injuries and we missed a lot of players, but even Travis Kelce was non-existent that day. Right. And we still come down to stopping Josh Allen on a 4th down play, and we possibly kick a field goal and win the game or whatever we do, right?
Right.
It's crazy how much of a different team this is. This is going to be a totally different matchup.
Absolutely. Real quick, want to shout out our X watchers right now. Up to 2.4 thousand people watching on X. YouTube, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Hey, I will say there's a lot more people on X than YouTube, right?
That's right, baby. But if you're over there on X, do your boys a favor. If you like what you're hearing, if you love the Chiefs, share this out with your followers. Also, get over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Help your boys out. Mike, I just think it's got to be a Travis Kelce day. And here's the thing. The entire show is titled, "This could be their last game in Arrowhead." And Travis Kelce's a focal point of that. Patrick Mahomes was asked earlier today on radio if it's Travis Kelce's last game in Arrowhead, whatever. And he just said, well, if it is, we got to get him a win.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. If you think in Travis Kelce's head, if he's even considering retirement after this season, if he thinks this could be the last time he ever steps a foot on the field in Arrowhead, do you not think he's going to go complete ape shit on everybody and just absolutely romp Buffalo? Because Kelce, he's that competitor. He's got that fire. He don't want to go out on a bad note. So if he thinks this could be his last game, he's going to be firing, boy.
Kelce did not have a great game last time we matched up. And I think, honestly, that's the one game the Chiefs lost, legitly. Like, they set their players and lost. But if they would have beat Buffalo that game and they would have went into Denver, it's very possible they would have played against Denver and just tried to go for the perfect season. That is a very big possibility. So the Bills, in some ways, kind of ruined – they didn't ruin the history of what could happen with a three-peat, but they ruined maybe a part of history. This could have been a undefeated team, which is crazy. So I think the Chiefs really – I think this game means a lot to the Chiefs and the players. It's coming from all angles with the cheating and the ref and the conspiracy, but now you've got the Bills and the way the Bills were celebrating that game, and God knows they just think it's – I think they get tired of it. And if I'm an offensive lineman, I want to stick up for Patrick Mahomes, right? I want to be like, look, everybody says Josh Allen's better than Patrick Mahomes. Isn't it funny? I was watching this today, and I thought this is hilarious. These announcers on TV go from telling us how much better of quarterbacks Lamar Jackson is, and good Lord, they've now even thrown Jaden Daniels above them now.
Of
Jaden
course.
Daniels is a better quarterback. than
Any
Patrick
shiny
Mahomes.
new toy, they're
But-
going
but
to throw him up there.
I thought
CJ
it was funny.
Stroud last
They
year.
go from the segment saying that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback, and then the very next segment is, will Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson ever win a Super Bowl? What are you doing? You're asking a question, will they ever win a Super Bowl? But yet you're trying to tell me they're better than the guy that is the freaking Thanos over here.
Right.
What in the hell world do we live in?
That's wild, bro.
These guys are ignorant.
It's wild.
I don't know how they got jobs
It's
to be
called
on TV. It makes
Chiefs
no sense.
derangement syndrome, okay? Chiefs fatigue. They're so tired of it, and I love it. Like, a lot of people kind of get upset that everybody's throwing the shots and, well, it's just the refs that make them so. I don't even care. I laugh at it. I was thinking about it today, Mike. I was kind of scrolling, doing my thing, scrolling X, scrolling, whatever.
Some brain rot activity, huh?
Yeah, but I'm just like watching these people comment, and like this is the God's honest truth. They want to say that the only people that don't want to acknowledge this stuff is Chiefs fans. But I'm going to tell you what it is in the real world. The only people that are that absolutely idiotic, stupid, and incompetent that can't read a rule or watch a tape are the only people crying about those calls. You're an absolute idiot. You're blind because you hate the Chiefs so much. They have hurt you so bad that they've altered your reality. You're delusional.
Yeah. 100%.
It's insane. And if you're watching right now and you're one of those people, wake the F up. Like, stop your crying. Just accept it. Confess from your tongue that the Chiefs are better than your team. They're just better. They don't make the stupid mistakes. Even when they're not playing good, they don't make the silly mistakes. They find ways to win. When your team finds a way to F it up, the Chiefs find a way to wrap it up. Okay? And that's all there is to it. Just accept it. It'll make your life a lot easier.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Like, I think this to be just a flat out hilarious. So they released, a lot of people's like, the media is dying in this country. I'm sorry, but the news is dying. The media is dying. We are the media. We are the news.
Because the big guys, even ESPN, they're all a joke. They all feed you bull crap.
You want to know a funny metric? The average show on NFL Network garnered 200,000 viewers. That's it. We live in a country with literally 300 million people, and it averages 200,000 viewers per episode. That was their average. Okay. That was their average.
Cole's beating that shit right now on YouTube.
Steve, me and you, all chiefed up. We're not the biggest. We're not the best. We're not the most knowledgeable. We have fun. We have a good crew here. It's fun. We do what we do. We primarily go out to Chiefs fans. We don't go out to 32 NFL teams. We go out to one. Now, we're the best fan base in the whole freaking world, and that's the bottom line.
100.
But I'll tell you this right now. 200,000 per show. We've garnered 3 million views, Steve. 3 million views in the past month, okay? We are almost on par. If you break that down to 30 days, if you give us a half-hour TV show, we're pulling the numbers of an NFL Network TV show almost. On average. That's insane.
Because no one wants to get their information
people
from these
are tired
morons.
of hearing, they're tired of hearing the crybaby narrative.
Well, I think
at least
people,
in my opinion.
I mean, we live in a society, even in the football, football fans, NFL fans, it goes along with it. But people just want some authenticity. They're tired of the fake BS, right? They're so tired of getting fed bullshit. They're so tired of people coming up with ridiculous narratives to catch their attention. I think the average person out there knows that Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, and all those guys are better than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the writing's on the wall here. Patrick Mahomes has 3 freaking Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
But they still want to feed them this shit every day. And I think people are tired of it. And they just want to see some real people talking about football.
Steve, I just did the math. I did the math. If we had a show, if All Chiefed Up was on the NFL Network 5 days a week for a half hour, okay, with our 3 million views on YouTube, we would be at 150,000, and their average show only got to 215,000. So we would only literally be behind their average show by 70,000 people. That's insane. Do you realize how much more that would kick up? So that's what I'm trying to say. There's more grassroots momentum behind this kind of stuff than people think.
And there should be.
We're the kinds of people that we have to keep, like, because people tell us all the time, don't buy into the narrative, don't talk about it, ignore it, don't do this, don't do that. We do a lot of things and we talk about a lot of things because it's not, it might not be popular, but it's to stop things and to literally tell the Chiefs side of the story, because it will get out. It gets out. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you have to defend. I love the Chiefs, man, and I'm going to defend them to the end of time, and you're not going to take away what Andy Reid has done, what Patrick Mahomes has done, what anybody on this team has put work in their entire life to be able to three-peat and to have that, and you're going to come at me and tell me this is all the refs and it's rigged. Come on. We're not having it.
Well, I mean, that's just – I'll just say this. If you're a Chiefs fan – be careful what you're consuming as far as media goes. I mean, let's be honest about it. What's the point of going and watching all that garbage where they're talking about this or trying to push this narrative when you know damn well it's BS?
Dude,
why give them your energy? Right. Why give them your views?
I flipped on ESPN
when there are
today
perfectly good Chiefs channels out here that will talk football with you with some common damn sense. You don't have to waste your time on that. Don't waste your energy on that.
I flip on ESPN today, and the first thing I hear somebody say is that Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
Get out of here.
Out of the quarterbacks left, they even took him over Jared or Josh Allen. What are you talking about?
Bro. It's wild times.
If I'm not mistaken, it was Damian Woody. This dude played in the NFL. Like, what are you like? People
Damian Woody. Anything. He sounds like he'd be a good spokesperson for Blue Chew.
I think he was so horned up, like all the blood was in his penis.
That wasn't even his real. That wasn't even his real last name. He took a Blue Chew, and he had to do that. It's been. Yeah. Have you had an erection for more than 4 hours, and you go to the hospital? That happened, and they just renamed him Woody. That turned into his name.
He must have had a giant Magnum dong down there. I don't know, because it took all his blood flow. Like, he literally could not think straight. What an idiot.
All right. Let's get back to the foosball, Michael. Real quick, if you're just coming in, you came in late, we appreciate y'all being here. X is showing out tonight. We got over 5,000 people, pushing 6,000 people watching on X right now. Appreciate you all. If y'all don't mind, you could share this out with your followers. Hit that like button. That helps us. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button for us. If you're watching on Facebook, shout out to you. Like it, share it with your friends and family. We appreciate you guys so much for hanging out and talking Chiefs football. But let's get back to it. Travis Kelce. We don't think so, but could be his last game in Arrowhead coming up against Buffalo. So he needs to show out. Mecole Hardman, he might have already seen his last game in Arrowhead, Michael. It doesn't look like that Andy's that interested in bringing Mecole Hardman back. Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and the only reason that we thought that they might is because Nico Remigio has butterfingers. Nico's a better returner. He's more electric, but he can't hold on to the damn ball. So would that be the only way you see Mecole Hardman sneaking back in here and playing an Arrowhead? Is by getting out there in this game and returning some kicks.
Yeah, I don't think you have to use him in the receiving core. Now, look, if you get Mecole Hardman out there as wide receiver 6 and somebody was have to come off because they twist an ankle or they got a little hammy issue or they're just tired, need some rest, I trust Mecole Hardman to come in and play 10 snaps a game. I don't distrust that. I think if he had to catch the ball and had to move the chains and Patrick Mahomes gets it to him in the numbers, he'll catch it. I have no doubt. I don't think Mecole Hardman's ever been that guy to where you feel like he's a drop kind of guy, like a Kadarius Toney or something like that. So I have all the faith, but I'm with you. If he comes in, it's because that they are a little worried about the Nico Remigio return situation. But at the same time, I still feel like almost in a sense of like, I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like you maybe just don't want to mess with things that are working at the moment.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you've had all, like, you've now seen that, and now you know this. You hold that ball high and tight and quit being so loose with it, because if you fumble this ball, you single-handedly could cost the greatest quarterback in the game to ever play the position to lose out on a three-peat chance. Like, so I feel like everybody has to turn it up a notch. And I think
there's definitely going to be a lot of accountability out there, right? I think they all are going to know that, and they're going to play their best game, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun to watch.
They can't come out and just walk. They cannot sleepwalk through this for even they cannot sleepwalk for even a minute. And sometimes the Chiefs do have tendencies to not be able to get up to big games as much as other people get up for big games. We've seen that a lot of times with like the Bengals will come into town and they'll talk smack all week, and then they're playing like it's the Super Bowl, obviously, and then we're kind of like sleepwalking through it. It doesn't feel like we're doing it, and it's like, how did that not get you fired up?
No, yeah, they got to bring the intensity.
And so the
this week.
Chiefs have to bring the intensity. They cannot just rely on, well, let's be cool, calm, and collected, and we'll find a way to win. It may not always work out.
You're definitely going to have that cool, calm, and collected thing, but you've got to bring the intensity. You've got to be ready to just bust these narratives.
And I would be slightly a little concerned that if you put it in the officials' hands with everybody now focusing on it, the officials will get gun shy to make the correct call. So you could have a MVS at the end of the Packers game situation. You could have something like that, and I could guarantee you they get a little tipsy, or not tipsy. I mean, I'll be tipsy if they get to that situation, but they'll be a little bit cautious of pulling that flag and throwing it out there, even if they're right, because they don't want to hear it.
The refs might be drunk. They might be tired of the scrap.
I literally feel like this is what people are pushing for, to be honest. They're pushing to see if the officials can just blatantly screw the Chiefs.
They're trying anything they can to stop this Chiefs dynasty, to stop the three-peat. They're tired of it. They're crybabies. That's all there is to it. Chief KT with a 2-bomb says, now people think we get more help than the Patriots, which is effing wild. I mean, the Patriots actually got caught cheating. They were recording other teams' practices illegally. They were deflating balls. They were getting their balls deflated at massage parlors. Okay? There's all kinds of scandals with that team. Don't even put them in the same breath as this Chiefs dynasty, because this one's a legitimate one. Quit trying to devalue it.
That's what irritates me, because these guys have done this right. We've done it the right way. We play hard. It's a good team, too. You don't have a lot of – I mean, we've had our troublemakers. But if you look at the people that have really caused the trouble in the offseason, like the whole dude last year, he never really even put the uniform on for us. He was bringing us negative publicity all offseason. Big Titty Bugs.
Big Titty Bugs. Get him out of here.
Bugs. And he was gone. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we have our moments. Don't get me wrong. Rasheed Rice, he showed his ass. But for the most part, like the Mahomes and the Kelseys of the world and the Andy Reid and just everybody in general, they're good people and good humans, and they have good hearts at the end of the day. And a lot of times it irritates the crap out of me that people try to take away they try to just make us bad people because they're tired of us winning.
Right.
It gets annoying.
It's like, we're trying to discredit their life's work. Like, get the hell out
Yeah,
of here.
it's crazy.
Just because you're a crybaby,
because they
your
won't
team
dare do
sucks.
that to Tom Brady. And like
Your
you
team
said,
can't
got
beat
caught.
the Chiefs, so you're going to try to just... It's ridiculous. Defamation, baby. Stop defaming people. Flapjack with the 5-bomb says, Ravens looking good with them 9 Pro Bowlers. Just saying. Chris Jones sending Allen to that Pro Bowl this season. Yeah, I think so. I mean, they wanted all these guys at the Pro Bowl. Patrick Mahomes was not a Pro Bowler, so he don't even have a reason.
No,
to
he
go.
don't even have a reason to even try.
Right.
He's
so
got to
I mean,
win. Let's just
look,
do our
we don't
due
want
diligence.
those other guys to miss it.
Yeah.
We got to make sure they show up and they get to play in their Pro Bowl.
How pathetic is it? He brought up the Ravens. How pathetic is it that the Ravens, and you already alluded to this earlier, but Marlon Humphreys gets on there and is
What
like,
a loser.
I want the team that put me out early and sent me to Cancun to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
What
dude.
kind of crap?
Losers.
That is loser mentality. Will Anderson and the Texans. Oh, we knew he was going to have to play against the refs. No, you were coming up with excuses instead of game plans all week, and it showed. You couldn't beat a vanilla ass Chiefs team.
It's crazy, bro.
And it had nothing to do with the penalties. You line
It
that game
blows
up any
my
day,
mind.
all day, and we win that game.
It blows my mind that people literally hate the Chiefs so much, even other players just so tired of seeing the Chiefs be better than them, that they're trying to team up. They're trying to form an alliance. Like, what are they doing? They're cheering for each other after
I hope
they
they
get beat.
all come up and come up with a super team, and I bet you they still lose.
Mike Carne Asada has been a member for 1 month. Says so much ref narrative. They overshadowed Kelsey breaking Jerry Rice's most 100-yard postseason games. That's the thing about it. All this bullshit is literally taken away from things that are actually happening. The Chiefs are making history. There are actual storylines out there for you slap nuts, but you prefer to go with this one because the people are a bunch of crybabies and their team sucks.
They are honesty, Steve. They're honestly not talking about things that Travis Kelce has been able to accomplish and Mahomes has accomplished and Andy Reid, because they're trying to tell us that nobody touched his helmet. and that was a bad call.
Right.
That didn't get hit in the head.
Get out of here, man.
We're literally showing you. And I still don't know how anybody can sit on TV
It's
after
kinda
all
one of them-
this
it's
and
kinda
tell
one of
me
them
that this
things,
didn't
man.
happen.
Mike, it's kind of one of those things, where people, like, there's some people out there that think they're cats. And they think they're a cat, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. If you want to think you're a cat, that's cool. But I don't have to believe that you're a cat, and I don't have to believe that didn't happen. I watch it, I see it. I don't have to live in your delusion that his helmet didn't hit him in the face mask. I don't have to live in your delusion that they didn't forearm him in the head. They didn't make contact with his head.
Right.
You can believe it all you want. You can be that way. That's fine. But I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to go live in your fantasy land.
And it
It's not
doesn't
happening.
say anywhere in the rule book that it has to be a certain amount of force to get the call either.
No, dude.
Well, they didn't
It's
elbow him in the
ridiculous.
head hard enough. What are you talking about? This is a team that just got in trouble for headhunting and almost decapitating an NFL
Of course, the
quarterback.
refs have a kind of a beat on you when one of the guys that did this literally tried to kill someone 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Like, get the hell out of here!
Like if
what
you
do
guys
you
knew,
think?
if you knew you were going up against the refs, you've already been targeted by the officials for this. Like you should not have gave them any
He was
reason to do
suspended
that.
for a couple games.
Right. They cried about that. They said that wasn't even a rightful suspension.
Good Lord! Look,
People
man,
are not going to be happy,
I will
Steve,
say this
until they hurt Patrick Mahomes. That's
I will
all
say-
people want to see.
That's what they want. That's exactly what they want because
all
they're
they want.
losers, and that's the only hope they have.
That's the only way they have a chance
But I
to
will
win
tell
is
you
if
this,
somebody
though.
can knock them completely out of a game.
Respect for the Texans organization has gone in the toilet.
Oh, yeah, they're dumpster. I'm
They're-
not
they're-
even ever
They're
giving them
crap,
any credit.
bro.
Look,
yeah,
they
they're a
tried
bunch
to
of
buy a
crybaby
ring.
losers.
Yeah, they tried to buy one, and I told them best. If you want to buy a ring, you're going to have to, as long as Patrick Mahomes is playing.
Hey.
Call up Jostin, see if you can get one fitted.
I want to shout out our boy Jalen Watson for
Jalen
getting on X and saying, I miss when grown men
Oh, yeah.
were accountable for their own losses.
Oh, boy,
It's
he's the
the
key for
truth.
that, too.
Oh, good
Oh,
Lord.
it's easy to say that when your team gets all the calls. Shut
Well,
up.
look, stop your crying. There's no crying in football. Stop your crying.
No, there's a lot of crying in football, and we're witnessing it. Like, straight up. Like, this
Absolutely
we've become
insane.
the softest. This is the softest, crybabyest country I've ever seen in my life. We're going to
gotta
end up going to
stop.
flag football before it's over because
You
these
got to stop.
ass clowns out here can't.
Look,
take a
man, they
beat.
would rather play flag football than the Chiefs continue to beat their ass. That's what they're telling us.
I'm telling you right now, I hope the Chiefs beat Buffalo so bad the world implodes. I hope we win the third straight Super Bowl. I hope everybody gets so salty, everybody quits watching it. I hope the NFL shuts down forever and the Chiefs are named the King, Big Dong, Magnum Dong team of the world. And they have to erect a statue in every city in America of Patrick Mahomes and Giant Dong Chris Jones. And they're just there. And you have to go for shade on hot days under Chris Jones' dong. And I hope you have to do that in every
I
city.
agree.
That's what you agree. I hope that happens, and I hope the NFL doesn't even have a league next year. We just end it. We just
if they're gonna condone
Thanos
this
it.
kind of crap, then I mean, yes.
That's what I want.
Patrick
Like,
Mahomes
well,
needs to snap his damn
will it
fingers
hurt
and
to
end
not
it,
have
baby.
football ever again? Yeah. But if we go out and we're the Kings that ruined it, and it's over now,
If
forget
Mahomes
it.
Thanos the NFL, I'd be okay with that
I would
ending,
laugh, dude.
right?
I watch
I'd be
CFL.
okay with that
I
ending.
guess. I guess we're gonna watch the Stampeders.
Well, we appreciate you guys being here. Once again, shout out to the people over on X. 8.3 thousand people on X watching right now. Please, if you're one of those 8.3 thousand, if you could go to our profile and hit follow, that would be fantastic. That'd be great. That'd be huge for us.
That would be awesome.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys over at Facebook too. Shout out BetUS for powering this live stream. Also, shout out Man to Sleep. Y'all get down in the description and check them out. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with a little bit of Good Morning Chiefs Kingdom. So make sure to make your way back over here. That's for you guys on X. That's for you guys on Facebook and here on YouTube. We'll see you in the morning. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Heaven was a sight from my soul.